What's up, Dragon Brood? So, those of you that are new to my content, which seems to be a few, you've had a lot of people come and subscribe lately, and I thank you for that. You may not know that I do a lot of other things other than just post videos about gameplay. I do some product reviews, which you've probably seen recently with the uh, Ultra Pro Satin Cube, I believe we call it. And, I also do some stuff from time to time talking about like collections and just, I don't know, some light finance stuff and things that just help players out. Well, today I decided to talk about a collection that I came across yesterday that I actually picked up today. And it's not about being a particularly like huge find, but it's more about just showing something cool that I don't think the average player knows about. One of the things about Magic is that the game's been around now, 27, 28 years, and there's a lot of stuff out there in the world, I guess you want to call it vintage Magic material, that people haven't seen before. So this is going to be a chance to kind of get to create some awareness and maybe help you out with some purchases of your own in the future. But part of this is also to say, sometimes buying can be really cool and easier when you know what you're looking for. Okay, now I know people do like looking at cards, and people are like, well, if you bought a collection, obviously you bought it for the cards or whatever. Actually, this is one of those times I actually didn't buy the collection for the cards, but what the cards came in, which is a more interesting story we're going to get to here later in the video. However, I will show you some of the cards. So I've already sorted the stuff out. I already kind of got an idea of what it's worth. And just to put it in perspective, here's the thing. I do want to say this. I actually don't really care about making this about prices, but for some reason when I show cards, people feel like you have to tell the price or else it doesn't, I don't know, it just messes up the narrative for some reason. And there's more to it than the price, because I would have both paid more and less depending on a lot of factors. But in this particular case, the whole thing only cost me about $150. So I'm just putting that out there. Don't know why, some people like to hear it. But one of the things here, you'll notice a lot of the cards in this collection were from Commander 2014 specifically. The person owned the black cards from that collection. One of the things that I bring that up is that I actually really like buying things that have a bunch of Commander cards in there. Butcher and Malakir is always sought after. Cryptobagademe. One of the reasons is that a lot of the stuff in Commander collections are valuable. If you look over the years, every Commander set has gone up in price because they have exclusive cards. They have quality reprints that people play in a lot of the different decks in Commander. Wake the Dead, though we don't see too often. Crypt Gas also has value, both reprint and original. Ghoulcaller Gissa. I mean, lots of good stuff here. So I will always buy collections that are full of Commander cards. Even some of the commons and uncommons are worth a bunch. So, for the right price, which by the way, these medallions have all jumped up in price a lot over the last year. But this one in particular, even if you have an older one, the older ones are like from Tempest and they're like $50. This one I think is somewhere between like $35, $40 right now. But lots of value in these collections. And this is one where, like I said, I saw the boxes, and again, Worn Power Stone's a couple bucks, Soul Rings are a couple bucks. This is another uncommon from those sets, the Arcane Lighthouse. You tap it for a colorless, or you can pay one and tap it until end of turn. Creatures your opponent controls lose hexproof and shroud and can't have hexproof or shroud. This card's like $10. I mean, these are the types of things you can find in Commander collections that people won't really even be paying attention to. And there's a lot of that stuff that people just say like, oh, I just have, just Commander cards. And this person's collection was all pretty much Commander and Khans of Tarkir block. And I was okay with that. So, and it wasn't a ton of cards actually. It was enough to fill a long box or two and a deck box. This is also pretty much anything that says take extra turns is going to be worth something. I believe this is like $8. Archfiend's also got a little bit of value to it. And then there were some fetch lands, actually, believe it or not. So, $30 a shot. There's 2 Flooded Strands, that were just hanging out and everything. The dig through times are just a buck or two. This Obnixilis of the Black Oath, I believe, is like $7 or $8. And then there was a Windswept Teeth, which is another like $25 to $30. And then a couple dollars for a Graph Digger's Cage. So I show those to say I was already happy with just the supplies I was getting in this. We'll call them that. I'm going to put these away in the box here. And even with that, those cards I just showed you were probably about $230, $235 worth. If I add up everything else, it probably brings it up to about between $260 and $270. So somewhere in there. So even for $150, if I just got the cards, I'd be more than happy. Even from just that small stack, I could sell them off pretty reasonably. Those are all playable cards, and I'd be able to make my money. But this is where the history lesson, if you want to call it, comes in. These nifty boxes. And this is the one that probably has the most damage on it. Let me switch the direction here. And actually, let me zoom out so you can get a much better visual of these boxes. But these are actually pretty rare. These were some of the early deck boxes put out by Ultra Pro. Some of the first ones that had actual artwork on them. And if you notice, the artwork on here, I don't believe anything's older than like Ice Age or something on these. So they're all pretty old. I don't know if you can see here. This is a Mana Clash piece of artwork there on the end. And then this has artwork on this end as well. And yeah, it's just kind of like 5 of the sides just have cool artwork pieces. Very neat for each of the colors. Now, one of the things that made this even more fortuitous was that the person had 6 boxes, I believe. And this one has a little bit of damage here. But one of them was a duplicate, the blue one. And then one of them wasn't even one of the colors. It was a one that had kind of like a mix of different artwork. So what that means ultimately is I wasn't going to have a full set of these, which was kind of disappointing because I was thinking, oh, I should be able to get a full set of these. And they didn't have all the ones with the mana symbol on them, but that's fine. It was just neat to be able to get just a set of these in different colors. But the fun thing was that coincidentally, I have a black one. So it was pretty neat to find the person who was missing the black one. And I happen to have one because I've been sitting on it for like 7 or 8 years. Here's the white one with the big mana symbol there. Thunder Spirit on the right. And yeah, this is kind of just a cool thing that people may not even know exists. Now, the reason I was excited to pick these up is even in rough shape, you can find these where they sell for somewhere about $40-ish a piece. In much nicer condition than what I've seen going lately, and having almost a full set of them, you know, having different ones. You could definitely get even more than that. Here's the black one. People can see that. So yeah, so I was pretty happy just being able to score these boxes just because they're so rare. And there's always a following for them. So the boxes alone were worth as much as the cards I'm getting from the collection, roughly. Or more. And then here's another one of the ones he had, the miscellaneous ones here. This is pretty cool. I will be putting these probably in the Vintage Magic group and just seeing, you know, kind of what kind of offers people want to give or whatever. But this has, you can't really see that there. It's a moat artwork on the back. But yeah, it's actually really cool. Just a neat piece of history that I think a lot of people may not have seen or even know that these exist. But oh, I guess some people may want to see what's inside, but it's really nothing. They're just storage boxes. I wish there was something cool to show you as far as like, I don't know, separators or something. But no, these were some of the earliest deck boxes or storage boxes that we got from Ultra Pro or any company for that matter. But yeah, this is why I want to show this type of stuff off. I think there's these type of items that the average person doesn't even know exist. You know, the player churn is so, like, I mean, Magic lived for so long that, you know, people come and go every 5 to 7 years. So there's stuff like that, you know, a couple I guess we'll call them generations of players go by, and now people don't even know what the first group saw. You know, and there's all types of rare storage boxes, deck boxes, artwork, sleeves, weird giveaways, tokens, life counters, like you name it. There's a little bit of everything out there. So when you come across this stuff or you see those things, sometimes it's worth looking up or just doing a little bit of research because, like I said, in this case, the boxes were worth as much as the cards. So I just figured once I knew what the cards were, I'm like, okay, cool. I don't even need to see all the cards. I knew roughly what sets. I knew they had the Commander 2014 stuff. I was already golden. But as soon as I saw the boxes, I was like, okay, I would buy it for those, knowing I'm going to make my money, and then I'll gamble on whatever the rest is. So, you know, other people probably weren't interested because I reached out to this person after they'd had it posted for like, I don't know, several days. And I was just like, hey, is this even still available? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, oh, awesome. You know, and other people probably didn't know that those boxes have value, so they weren't interested in making an offer. So stuff like that really can go a long way, you know, and that's why I tell people it can be a little bit tough when you're trying to go out and just get into buying Magic or collectibles or for any game for that matter. You kind of have to know what the hot items are. You have to do your history. It can be another full-time gig. You know, it may be your side hustle, but it may be a side hustle that you got to brush up a lot of knowledge on so you can make sure you're getting the most for your money. Remember, if you like today's video, I need you to like it, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And if you want to come join me on my Discord or my streams or anything, or you want to just ask questions about collections, feel free to hit up the Discord down below. The link is there. Or, like I said, hit up one of my streams either on Facebook or Twitch. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.